In today's video, I'm going to ask 5 different AIs for their favorite game on Roblox to truly find the best. I will also be playing each one of them. Let's get started. I asked ChatGPT first. I wrote the prompt. What do you think is the best game on Roblox? It doesn't necessarily have to be the most popular, and after some time, I finally got a response: Arcane Odyssey. Alright, so today I'm playing Arcane Odyssey, a free RPG on Roblox that a lot of people say is one of the best games on the platform. And honestly, I'm a bit skeptical, but also curious. So the game starts off by throwing you straight into its world with your own character and a chosen magic type. You can pick things like fire, lightning, ice, basically whatever looks the coolest. Because let's be real, that's how most people decide. At first, the game doesn't really guide you much. It kind of just drops you in and says, figure it out, which is already different from most Roblox games that hold your hand every step of the way. As you start exploring, you realize this isn't just a small map. It's a huge open world made up of islands scattered across a massive sea. And yes, you actually travel between them using boats, which is honestly one of the coolest parts. Now, combat is where things get interesting. This isn't one of those games where you just spam click and win. You actually have to aim your attacks, dodge enemy moves, and time your abilities properly. So if I mess up, it's definitely the game's fault, not mine. You can fight using magic, weapons, or different fighting styles. And as you level up, you get to build your character however you want. You can go full mage, full warrior, or mix things together and probably create something completely broken or completely useless. There are also bosses, quests, and even PvP if you want to fight other players, so there's a lot going on beyond just basic grinding. But what really stands out is the exploration. You're constantly finding new islands, hidden areas, and random encounters. It actually feels like the game rewards you for being curious instead of just repeating the same thing over and over. That said, the game is a bit slow at the start. You don't become overpowered instantly, and it takes time to understand how everything works. So if you're expecting instant action, you might get a little bored early on. But if you stick with it, it starts to feel more like a proper RPG than a typical Roblox game. Overall, Arcane Odyssey feels surprisingly deep, especially for a free game. It's not perfect, it can be confusing at times, and the early game is a bit slow, but there's clearly a lot of effort put into it. So yeah, I didn't expect much going in, but this is actually kind of impressive. Let's move on to another AI, Claude. I typed in the same question and he gave me a response: doors. Alright, so today I'm playing Doors, a free horror game on Roblox that a lot of people say is actually scary, which is rare for Roblox. I don't fully believe that yet, but we're about to find out. So the game starts in this hotel, and the goal is simple: open doors, go through rooms, and keep progressing. Sounds easy, right? Yeah, it's not. As you move forward, each room is randomly generated, so you never really know what's coming next. Sometimes it's quiet, a little too quiet, and sometimes something is definitely about to go wrong. And that's where the game gets interesting. There are these entities, basically monsters, that can show up at any time, and each one has its own mechanics. So it's not just about running. You actually have to learn what to do in each situation. Like sometimes you need to hide, sometimes you need to stay completely still, and sometimes you just panic and hope for the best. The game doesn't really explain everything either, so a lot of it is trial and error, which usually means I'm about to die a lot. One thing I really like already is the atmosphere. The lighting, the sounds, the music, it all builds tension really well. Even when nothing is happening, it feels like something could happen at any moment. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't trust this game at all. Every door I open feels like a mistake. Now, gameplay-wise, it's pretty simple on the surface. Walk, explore, find keys, open doors, but the challenge comes from reacting quickly and staying aware of your surroundings. Because if you miss a cue, you're done, and the game will not feel bad about it. There are also items you can find like keys, lighters, and other tools that help you survive longer, which adds a bit of strategy instead of just running blindly. But let's be honest, most of the time I'm not thinking strategically. I'm just trying not to scream. What really makes Doors stand out is how unpredictable it feels. You can have a calm run where nothing happens for a while, and then suddenly everything goes wrong at once. And that keeps it fun, because it never feels exactly the same. That said, it's not a super complex game. It's more about atmosphere, reactions, and learning patterns than deep progression or customization. But it does that really well. Overall, Doors is one of those games that's simple, but extremely polished. It's easy to get into, genuinely tense, and perfect if you want something quick but exciting. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this might actually be one of the few Roblox games that can genuinely scare you. Alright, let's go to another AI, Grok. And he chose Theme Park Tycoon 2. So today I'm playing Theme Park Tycoon 2, a game on Roblox where you build and manage your own theme park from scratch. And this already sounds dangerous because it means if the park is bad, it's completely my fault. So you start off with an empty plot of land and a bit of money, and the goal is simple: build a park that people actually want to visit and, more importantly, spend money in. At first, it's pretty straightforward. You place a few basic rides, maybe add some stalls, and slowly people start coming in. But the interesting part is that the game gives you a lot of control. You're not just placing pre-made stuff, you can actually build things in detail. detail, especially roller coasters. You can design them piece by piece, which means you can either create something amazing or something that probably shouldn't pass safety inspections. And I'm not saying I'm going to build a dangerous roller coaster, but I'm also not saying I won't. As you keep playing, you earn more money, unlock more rides, and expand your park. And this is where it gets really creative. You can design the layout, add decorations, organize paths, basically shape the entire park however you want. You can make something realistic or completely chaotic, and honestly, I'm leaning towards chaos. Another cool detail is how the visitors react. If your park is too expensive, too crowded, or just ugly, they will complain, and they won't hold back. So it's not just about building, it's also about managing everything properly. You've got to balance prices, keep the park clean, and make sure people are actually having fun. Otherwise, your park is going to fail, and it will be very obvious why. At the same time though, the game is surprisingly relaxing. There's no rush, no pressure. You can just take your time, build at your own pace, and watch your park slowly grow. It's one of those games where you say you'll play for 10 minutes, and then suddenly it's been an hour overall. Theme Park Tycoon 2 is one of the best building and management games on Roblox. It's not fast-paced or intense, but it's really satisfying if you enjoy creating things and seeing them come to life. And yeah, my park might be a complete mess, but it's my mess. Let's move on to the fourth AI, DeepSeek, and the game is the quest for the legendary Bloxy Cola. Alright, so today I'm playing the quest for the legendary Bloxy Cola, a Roblox RPG that's become somewhat of a hidden gem among players who enjoy story-driven adventures. At first glance, the title sounds a little ridiculous. I mean, we're apparently going on a journey to find a legendary bottle of soda, but as strange as that sounds, this game is actually much bigger and more ambitious than you might expect. The story begins with your character waking up on a mysterious beach with no memory of who they are or how they got there. From there, you're quickly pulled into a larger adventure involving powerful artifacts, dangerous enemies, and a quest that takes you across multiple regions of Robloxia. As you progress, you'll meet a variety of characters, uncover secrets about the world, and slowly piece together the story behind the legendary Bloxy Cola itself. One of the first things that stands out is how much effort has been put into the game's world. Instead of focusing purely on combat, the game encourages exploration. You'll travel through different towns, forests, caves, deserts, and other unique locations, each with its own atmosphere, quests, and characters. The world feels surprisingly alive, and there's always something new to discover as you move from one area to the next. The gameplay is built around turn-based combat. Rather than relying on fast reactions, battles are more about strategy and decision-making. You choose attacks, use special abilities, manage items, and try to figure out the best approach for each encounter. As you continue playing, you'll unlock new equipment, stronger abilities, and additional options that allow you to customize how your character fights. The progression system is also one of the game's strongest features. Every new area introduces stronger enemies and better rewards, which creates a constant sense of growth. You always feel like you're working towards something, whether it's a new piece of gear, a powerful ability, or simply reaching the next chapter of the story. Another thing I really appreciate is the amount of content packed into the game. There are plenty of side quests, optional objectives, hidden secrets, collectibles, and boss battles scattered throughout the world. Because of that, exploration feels rewarding instead of feeling like a waste of time. The game also contains a huge number of references to Roblox's history. Longtime Roblox players will probably recognize classic items, locations, and jokes that have been part of the platform for years. These references don't just feel like random fan service, they help give the game its own identity and make it feel like a celebration of Roblox itself. Visually, the game isn't trying to be the most realistic experience on the platform. Instead, it embraces a classic Roblox style while still creating environments that feel distinct and memorable. Combined with the music and atmosphere, it gives the adventure a surprisingly charming feel. Of course, the game isn't perfect. The pacing can be a little slow at times, especially if you're used to faster action games. Some quests require a lot of traveling, and certain battles can become challenging if you're underleveled. But for players who enjoy RPGs, exploration, and story-driven progression, those slower moments are often part of the experience overall. The quest for the legendary Bloxy Cola feels like a genuine adventure. It's a game that combines exploration, storytelling, progression, and classic Roblox charm into a surprisingly complete RPG experience. What starts as a quest for a legendary soda quickly turns into a much larger journey filled with memorable characters, interesting locations, and plenty of surprises along the way. And honestly, that's what makes this game so special. It may not be one of the most popular games on Roblox, but it's definitely one of the most unique. Let's now go to the last AI, Gemini, and the final game is Pressure. Alright, so today I'm playing Pressure, a Roblox horror game that has gained a lot of attention for its atmosphere, difficulty, and unique survival mechanics. At first, it might seem like another simple horror game on Roblox, but after spending some time with it, you quickly realize that Pressure is much more ambitious in this game. You play as a prisoner who is sent on a dangerous mission inside the Hadal Black Site, a mysterious underwater facility filled with secrets, abandoned areas, and terrifying creatures. Your objective is to explore the facility, complete your mission, and survive whatever is waiting for for you inside. And honestly, surviving is much harder than it sounds. One of the strongest parts of Pressure is its atmosphere. The game does an amazing job at creating tension through its dark environments, unsettling sounds, and detailed locations. Even when you're walking through an empty hallway, it always feels like something could be watching you. The gameplay focuses on exploration and survival. As you move through the facility, you need to search for useful items, complete objectives, and carefully make your way through each area. However, the biggest challenge comes from the creatures that hunt you. Each monster has its own behavior and rules, meaning you can't just use the same strategy every time. Some enemies require you to hide, some require quick reactions, and others force you to stay calm under pressure. And that's what makes the game so interesting. You slowly learn from your mistakes, understand how each threat works, and improve with every attempt. The game also has great replay value because every run can feel different. You never know exactly what will happen next, which keeps the experience exciting even after multiple attempts. Another thing that makes Pressure stand out is how it builds fear. Instead of relying only on jump scares, the game creates horror through suspense and uncertainty. Sometimes the scariest moments aren't when you're being chased. They're the moments where everything becomes quiet and you're just waiting for something to happen. Of course, the game isn't perfect. The difficulty can be frustrating for new players, especially when you don't understand why you failed. It also requires patience, because rushing through areas usually leads to mistakes. But for players who enjoy challenging horror games, that difficulty is part of what makes the experience rewarding. Overall, Pressure is one of the most impressive horror experiences on Roblox. It combines a creepy atmosphere, creative enemies, and intense survival gameplay to create something that feels much closer to a full horror game than a simple Roblox experience. You enter the Hadal Black site, expecting to complete a mission, but very quickly, the mission becomes simply trying to survive. Overall, these games were really fun to play, but my personal favorite is definitely the quest for the legendary Bloxy Cola. Now I want to hear from you. What's your favorite Roblox game? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe so you can stay updated with future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.